Hello and welcome everyone to tonight's episode of the Relics of Old. It's been a couple of weeks since we played last, but our intrepid adventurers are going to steal from another D&D show because I love that term. Finished up a quest over at the Centaur Farms, killing several wolves and returning to Ingrid and Julian, the centaurs in town. For those of you, that is the upper right corner of the map showing on screen right now. Having been paid for their quest, they wandered around town a little bit. Fink showed off some of her new abilities in imbuing Iso's shield with a +1.
Thanks, a boy.
So that'll make for some very interesting combat.
Just so you know.
I'm sorry?
I did it
Fink
again.
is a boy. You said her.
Okay. Yep. Fink is a boy.
Fink's pronouns are
Apologies.
he, him, I believe.
Yeah. No, that is correct. Most likely. Apologies. I am probably going to mess it up a few more times before I just get it. But I will try it. So, showing off his new abilities. The group. Yeah, I'm trying to think. What else can we do? I mean, we did that. We talked to the guild master.
We talked to the guild master. We went to the fountain.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We skinned the wolves.
Yep.
We went to Boldre's temple of both male and female visages.
Correct.
They need sap, so we have another quest.
Yep. This one is not to the north, oddly enough.
And then we got more information on the Grung Encampment, which we are heading on to. Don't let the Grung touch you. The gold Grung, people don't come back, and you said there is blue and red, and I don't think we know what that does.
Correct. You don't.
So
That's exciting.
oh, and oh wait, no, that's just other information. That's okay. We're good.
Okay.
It was a lot of RP, a lot of awesome RP.
Correct. Yeah. No, it's awesome. I really enjoy it. You guys are getting into your characters and exploring them a bit here early on. That's cool. So we finished off having decided to go to the Grung Encampment, and we closed last session exiting town. And that is where you guys find yourselves, on the other side of the old gate of Spielberg.
Did you say you were going to give out inspiration?
Thank you for reminding me again. That's twice now I've been reminded, and I still forgot.
Where is that
after
on
last session, off screen, I did award all players inspiration for their play in the previous session. I felt everyone in their efforts definitely deserved it. So, and I'm terrible about handing these out, so try to remind me.
Where is this on here?
And key point two, to remind everyone from the initial rule set, this will function like bardic inspiration and can be added on after a die roll is known. But before, basically, you give me the result, kind of thing. Even after, I'm very loose with that. If you think your 1 to 6 is going to influence the result, feel free to use it.
Where does that get put on D&D Beyond?
Upper right corner on the desktop.
On my phone, it's right under my hit points.
Yep.
Oh.
Doesn't have that. Oh, I'm on iPhone. That's also different.
Correct.
Let me see if I can get it.
Apple, not a sponsor.
Yeah, definitely not.
Anyway, so the four of you find yourselves just outside of the gates of Spielberg. What would you like to do? Where would you like to go? And so on and so forth.
Well, we're heading north.
I'm gonna find this Grung Encampment. Yeah. definitely think we should still head north. Because we had finished everything up in town, right?
I think we gathered all we could.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's actually a very good point. Speaking town again to finish up the recap. Iso had used a point of his healing hands or lay on hands to heal the disease that had been plaguing
the Tabaxi. I don't remember his name. Ooh, you're jumping.
Seemingly curing the mange that had been plaguing him, and in turn, it seems kind of mending a marriage.
Can I do a roll for that because his personality changed when that got fixed too? That seems
yes,
odd.
It did. What are you looking to roll for on that?
I guess if it was more than just like if it was an unnatural form of it, of whatever that.
Gotcha. So if it's just it appeared to be mange on the surface kind of deal, and you want.
Yeah. Did anybody else lose him or just me?
Yeah, he's frozen on my screen.
My internet died for 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's weird.
Am I back? I hope I'm back.
Yeah, I think so.
That was weird. I just lost all network and we're good now. So.
Yeah, I want to know if it's on an unnatural, if mange is just the whatever.
Sure. I will give you the option of either nature or arcana.
Well, I'm gonna go with arcana.
Hard choice, I know, but
Super hard choice.
First roll of the night. Let's go.
23.
All right. Yeah. Well, we don't have a good way to do like a whisper or anything like that, so everyone will just be privy to what you are aware of now.
Just try not to meta knowledge.
Right, so do your best to not meta, but this way it keeps the audience included too.
Technically, you could just mute no, like that would
we
work.
could deafen everyone else, server deafen them quick, and then bring them back.
I mean, you could.
No, it's all right.
But yeah, no, it's okay. Anyways, 23.
This is your guys' choice. Otherwise, just don't meta the information and we're good.
I think you're good.
So, with a 23, you definitely feel that there is some other underlying intent behind this, that some other force is actually affecting, or was affecting his mind. You're not certain what, and all I've got right now is like the Hobbits when Radagast is like witchcraft kind of thing going through my head at the moment. But that's kind of your epiphany, if you will. That you feel like something definitely mimicked a natural thing in order to affect it that wouldn't get picked up otherwise.
Okay.
All right
then.
So, we're going to stay on the town map here because I don't have just a good traveling map, and you're just traveling. So,
because we were going
with the four of
See, we're doing the Grung camp because it's on the way to the Grove place for that one person's resting place. That's what it was.
Yeah. You get
Arena's
the general
rest.
sense that the two are very near each other.
Yeah.
You're not certain how near, as you haven't gotten too great of a description that way, as not many people tend to travel that far north anyway.
Right. Nope, that's good. I find that's why we're doing the Grung encampment first, because it was on the way to Arena's Rest.
Correct. So with that in mind, who would like to lead the party in the trek through the forest? I know we have a lot of strong wisdom characters here, so...
I think the Truro is the most likely to succeed on this one.
It is not me.
All right. So as you guys make your way north, you traveled a couple miles past Julian and Ingrid's farm. Having known that, that's a direct route right up there. Before long, that dirt path you were following just kind of fades away into lush forest. Thick trees all around. And at times it's very difficult to see past more than 3 to 4 trees at a time before it's just completely blotted out and all you see is leaves and branches. So with that, Iso, why don't you give me a survival check as you try to maintain north without really having a good way to discover that based on the sun. $18? That's real good. You guys are only level 2. That's a phenomenal roll. All right. So as you continue traveling north, based on some of the general directions that you've been given and everything like that, you continue north for about 6 miles or so outside of town before, to your keen eyes here, as you're traveling, trying to make your way towards a Grung Encampment, knowing that they are frog men. You see like little bits of slime that seem to hang on some of the trees, just like clinging to the bark. Not really hanging, I guess, but it's in, and there's slick spots on the bark. And you being an amphibious yourself, basically, right? Turtle. Real dumb on the internet. Real dumb on the internet. Okay. You lean into the slime?
Oh, I've got to have him muted or something because I'm not hearing anything.
Okay, I'm hearing him perfectly. Did you server mute? I don't know.
I think
I can hear him just fine.
Can you talk again?
Sure, Iso, can you speak up again?
No, I was just staying quiet to screw with her a little bit.
Nice.
Yes, I'm talking now. Test.
Yeah, we're good. I was like, I knew something was with the headphones was up, but like, I maybe Mage got the text message. No, apparently you were muted somehow on mine. Probably from earlier, like way.
Oh, someone's not getting a cure wounds today. Anyway.
Well, I was like, wow, an 18. Like, that would have been cool to hear.
Right?
But yeah, as he's walking,
you missed
seeing that
air bit stuff.
Yeah, so did those
as
at
he's
home.
walking and stuff, he would kind of like, maybe the first time, lean more into the slime.
Okay, I'm going to ask for 2 things. Why don't you roll me a d6 to start with?
Good old D6, alright. 5.
5. All right, fun.
Oh, God.
Next, why don't you roll me a Constitution saving throw as you come in contact with the slime?
Okay. 17.
17. Okay. You kind of brush up against it, and it is kind of viscous. It kind of kind of like saliva, where it just kind of slowly like separates, and you can see a string of like spittle kind of thing. But the same thing is happening as you're like, your elbow comes up against it as you kind of rub up on it, and it just kind of strings off and stays attached to the tree. It doesn't take much. I mean, it's not like you got to rip your arm free or anything. It's just kind of that like liquid leaving as you move away from the tree. But it doesn't seem to have any other effect.
Yeah, he doesn't even look back or anything. He just kind of keeps walking, so everyone behind him just see these strings of goo come off of him as he continues walking.
Nice.
You know, this place isn't too bad. A little better than that forest back there. I need to have a talk with the sheriff to perhaps do a managed forest. That is just a fire waiting to happen.
Can I nudge Iniara and just be like, hey, can you fix his shoulder?
Yes. And I'll prestidigitate the shoulder from behind so he doesn't notice. I will do my utmost to avoid anything that looks slimy like that, and I will try to keep, like, even though I don't hold my umbrella, like, it's closer to me to not get gross as well.
Gotcha, yeah, just kind of, somehow you subconsciously just pull that umbrella just a little bit closer, so it's not dragging on any branches. But yeah, you just kind of see that slimy residue that's on Iso's elbow, and you just quickly prestidigitate that away as he's moving on. Anyway, so the slimy leavings of the trees kind of start dragging you a little more westerly as you continue north. And again, why don't you roll me a nature check, Iso, actually?
A nature for me? Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, dice. Ahoy. That's a 4.
That's a 4. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
On the way.
It seems normal that this would be an occurrence like this, that you would see slime this far away, and yet you haven't seen water. Just seems normal. Was a 4.
With a
Seems
4.
normal to me.
On the way on this, what you said, 6 miles.
Yep.
I'm going to share that roll with the group.
Okay.
I don't even have the accent now. Dang it! I don't think that
It is okay.
It is okay. Thank you. That's all I needed. I don't think that the what's his name now? Razier's mange was necessarily a natural occurrence. Well, there just seems to be more to it, I think. But I can't tell what.
His eyes did seem a little different after I put my hand on him.
I'd say his personality changed as well.
Did it?
Yeah, it was helpful. At least the 24 hours that we know him, he wasn't helpful before.
Although his wife seemed a lot happier.
You fixed the marriage. What can I say?
I do the God's work.
All right. So, as you continue, about another hour passes. You guys have traveled, you'd estimate maybe 8 miles outside of town. It's a little bit slower going here as you're obviously trying to find your way. You don't have a direct beeline. There's not a road or anything, so you kind of stumble and trip over some things as you go. But Iso's steady hand kind of just, for whatever reason, he can just kind of sense where this thing is at. He just goes. But around that 2-hour mark, you begin to hear the soft rush of water on a beach of some sorts, or at least not necessarily a beach, but you hear water lapping up against the side of land.
Does anybody know if the sound of water is near where we're trying to go?
Your guys' map should have changed.
Yes.
Aha, then we're close.
I think there was... Well, the grung are frog-like, so it kind of makes sense.
Were they? I don't see species.
They told us there were scary things in a pond
Yes.
if we strayed from the path on our way to Iniara's rest.
How
these
have
guys
you
show
known
no
my
vision
great
issues.
aunt was from a pond? There was nothing wrong with her. However, she didn't like dandelions. Strange woman.
Whoa, that's the whole map.
That's the whole map. Yep, you don't want the whole map. You only want part of it.
Mm-hmm. I see trees.
Yeah, so as you kind of continue forward, the forest itself begins to slowly fade into single trees just kind of here and there. It really opens up as you come upon the shores of this lake. As you can kind of see as you get, assuming depending how close you want to get here, the trees go from lush and thriving and they just slowly start to wilt. And closer to the bank of this lake, or the shore of the lake itself, the trees are dead. Again, it is fairly sizable, so.
And it still looks
still-
like slime is hanging off those trees as well, the dead ones.
Yeah, so as you kind of get closer, just in general, the slime seems to be more abundant. More trees have it in more areas of the trees themselves, and the dead tree seems to be heavily coated in them. Not necessarily sure. I mean, you can kind of surmise that it is the slime itself that's killing it, but there could be some other underlying issues.
Is this an abnormally clear pond?
Oh no, quite the opposite actually. The water in this looks similar to the slime that was on the tree. It is thick, it is scummy, and you can't see very far. Like you can see maybe the first foot or so into the lake, just because it's so close to daylight, but past that, it just goes dark. Even for those of you that have night vision and things of that nature, you maybe have another 2 or 3 feet before it is just pitch black.
And what time of day is it?
You'd say probably 10. Well, what did we decide on that we ended on last time? The mid-afternoon now?
Yeah, probably.
Give or take mid-afternoon.
Okay.
So sun is still fairly high up in the sky, and you can see it at this point. Like the lake itself is quite large, and maybe a good like half mile into the lake, you can kind of see the start of like a wooden palisade, which I know in D&D terms seems real weird that you can see that far, but a normal person can see that far in broad daylight. So
Right.
unless the weather's really awful, and then you really can't. But vision is usually quite a bit further in daylight. Any other questions about the area or descriptions I may be leaving off?
I don't think so.
Nope,
Do
I'm
we
good.
see anything living?
No.
Not at the moment. Well, why don't you roll me a perception check?
I want
Okay.
to move a little bit farther forward, about there-ish.
Yeah, sure. I mean, guy, feel free to move your characters where you would like to be on the map at the moment. Right now, you're at the very like northern edge of it.
How big is this lake? Pond? Is it lake pond? What's the difference here?
Technically, it is a lake, similar to like how Lake Superior is a lake. But
It's
massive.
right, I mean, so you're looking out half a mile into the lake to see this like wooden palisade.
Okay.
And that's you can still see well past this. There's way more lake past it.
Do you suppose that the Grung Encampment's that? As I point to the middle of the lake there.
Right. And for those of you maybe not 100%
Palisade.
positive, wooden palisade is basically just wooden posts in the ground, kind of spiked topped, that kind of ring like a fort like in earlier colonial times, they would use that a lot as barriers for animals and other undesirables.
And I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
you
I'm
probably
quite
mentioned.
illiterate around those sorts of terms.
No, that's fine. It's just a wooden fortification, very simplistic in style.
And I'm sorry, you may have mentioned this, but how far is it from the shoreline, roughly?
About half a mile. Yeah. Give or take. I mean,
Oh.
best as you can kind of see. Anyway, think, what did you get on your perception check? Not to forget that.
Nope. I will take my passive of 11, please.
11. Okay. No, that's fine. So with that, you kind of are just more or less transfixed on the nature of this. This is just a very unnatural lake. You do not see anything living.
Okay.
Is there dead fish floating on the water?
Not that you can see at the moment.
Okay.
Does
it smell?
As you kind of mentioned that, like the wind picks up just a tad, and that rotten fish smell. That if you've been on lakes or rivers or things of that nature, from time to time you really get that strong stench of it, and that just kind of hits the air and cascades across you guys, and it is disgusting.
Is this
smells
bad?
like home?
Is this
For most of you, it's disgusting.
compared to a stench cow? How bad is this?
Compared to a stench cow, I would say a stench cow is still worse. Because usually your entire corridors are like tighter quarters with a stench cow.
That's true.
Whereas this is just open air that is just kind of permeating through. So yeah, a stench cow would still be rougher.
So that's normal
He's
in the
always just
Underdark,
standing
right?
there smiling.
Yeah, that is a normal like stock in or like draft animal in the Underdark.
I mean, I've smelled the worst, but that doesn't mean that it's better.
True. Just because it's not
Right, that
worse
one.
doesn't mean it's bad.
So, do we want to walk around the lake and see if perhaps there's a shorter distance to this palisade, or walk around till we see other structures?
I don't think that's too bad of an idea.
Why
Otherwise-
is your nose wrinkled? This smells, it's wonderful out here.
I'm just gonna like something or like cover my nose a little bit.
Every 6 seconds, cast prestidigitation. on the
Yeah,
wall in
just-
front of you.
Like your own personal gas mask.
Iso just shakes his head. Warm bloods.
Mm-hmm.
Well, which way should we go? With the perception, does it look like anything out in the distance might be somewhat closer to get to, or see any other structures, or is it just that palisade in the middle?
Based on where you currently are at, so kind of how the lake. I don't want to feel like I'm shoehorning you into a specific thing, but so about half a mile out, and you can see maybe around the shoreline here, like kind of in a nice ring, it just kind of widens out from the area you are in. It is a very large lake. And just kind of looking side to side, you would estimate maybe 4 miles across, kind of thing. So it is very wide as it goes, and you can kind of just off in the distance see more tree line surrounding it. As far as other structures go, this is currently the one you see, but that doesn't mean there isn't others in the lake. But where you are currently standing on the shoreline, no.
Well, let's leave it to luck. Petunia, would you care to lead?
Yeah, I can totally leave.
If
All
it
right.
makes you feel safer, I will walk next to the shoreline and have her on my left.
Okay. So again, just for you guys' own perspective, you are kind of at the very southern edge of this lake. So you've got easterly and westerly that you can travel around it if you choose to.
Moving a whole bunch of people all over my lap right now. Okay, I'm gonna move farther south.
Okay.
We're on the south side of the lake.
Right. So
I'm
right,
moving
because
north.
you traveled north to get to it, and you were on the very southern edge of the lake itself. So there's still northeast and northwest that you can kind of travel up and around it if you wish to, kind of, as ESO had suggested, circle around or get a better look for other areas.
Well, I would want to go this way probably. Not
Okay.
right on the water, but kind of between the trees.
Sure.
Does it get really mucky or?
It does closer to the water, but up kind of where you guys are at now, there's still a good amount of dirt and grass that kind of get in the way. It's not marshy by any means, but as you get closer to the actual water, it does.
Fink, do you want to move closer? You're still back in the tree line.
Oh, oops.
I promise, my dear, it doesn't smell that bad.
I'm gonna look
Oh, wait,
at the ground.
it's a dude. Damn it, I did it too.
I'm gonna look at the ground as we're walking to see, because there's the slime in the trees. Is there any indication on the ground as we get closer to the water that there's like slime creeping out of the lake into the ground, kind of?
Sure. Why don't you roll me a perception check?
Oh boy.
Everyone's favorite stat.
Everyone's favorite stat. I
Right?
got a 6.
All right. What's your passive perception?
So my passive is 10, so I got a 10.
Okay. Nice. All right. So as you kind of look at the ground and watch the water as you kind of begin walking easterly, you kind of see that as the water kind of washes up on land a bit and then back, it leaves slime as it goes that slowly kind of trickles back, and just as it's about to wash back up, it starts the process over again.
I did hear that. Okay.
Okay.
The slime that washes up on the beach. Yes.
Right, so nothing's
Sorry,
like
I didn't know
crawling
if you had
onto
to
the
clean up.
beach itself, it's just kind of slowly getting washed into the soil, it seems.
Okay, well, with that, then I'm going to end up moving not closer to the water. We're going this way, right? Because
Whichever direction you chose, we're choosing your luck.
oh, well, I was going to go to the left.
Is that east then, around the
Yep,
lake?
that's east.
Yeah,
East.
east. Because that's what I decided. Do I see anything from here?
All right. So as you kind of continue walking to the east, you do notice that that same kind of effect is happening on the trees as you kind of look down the path ahead of you, or like on the shoreline ahead of you. Well, that's terrible. Sorry, I was trying to sign back into D&D Beyond and failed. You kind of see that same kind of water effect happening along the shoreline. The trees themselves are dead, but as you continue to walk, kind of thing, you do notice like little bobbing in the water that you do recognize as dead fish, which kind of now explains the smell that has come through on the wind.
I think Petunia got lucky and picked the right direction.
Indeed.
You're muted. Sorry, I may have found the dead fish.
Dibs!
Yeah, it's over this way. I'm not eating it. You can have it.
Did he just say dibs?
He did. I don't want it. You can have it.
Iniara, you do notice as you guys are walking that direction that there are little like webbed footprints every few feet or so, like something was walking or heading towards the water itself.
So it's heading into the water?
Right, and they seem to be various sizes.
I will point these out.
Ducks, maybe?
Would anyone like to investigate them?
I will go investigate them.
Go ahead.
All right.
Oh, we can go together.
We'll both go look.
All right.
Keeps us together.
You both go over and look. Go ahead and roll investigation check.
This one's not terrible, hopefully. Ooh, 14.
Ooh, I actually have proficiency in this one. 17.
17. All right. Very good. So as you kind of, after Iniara points them out, you kind of see like in some of the muckier spots of the shore or the embankment, you see some that as Fink, you kind of hold up your hand, there are a few that are smaller than your hand. And as you see, kind of you look over and you see the petunias kind of mirroring that same, like, how big is that? You notice that one is about the same size as her hand. Which, to be clear, Fearbog's hands, much, much larger than gnome hands.
That's a little unsettling.
Oh, here, we'll do perspective.
Perfect. But you do notice several sets of boats.
Okay. That's a little different than what I'm used to. But they go directly towards the water?
Yes, they're heading towards the water.
Okay.
Oddly enough, you don't see any going away from the water, just towards.
Just gonna ask that.
Would I have enough common sense or wisdom with my great wisdom score to understand with the dead fish in the water and the no footprints what this meant?
That's up for you to decide. Do you think with a 10 wisdom that you would make that correlation?
Probably not. Nope, I probably wouldn't notice it.
What about intelligence? Okay. Is that more of an intelligence or a wisdom?
Too.
Well, that's why I'm asking, because I got a 16 and a 13.
Okay.
Yeah. Mine's not the greatest intelligence either. It's a 12.
You needed stats elsewhere.
I did. I definitely did. And that's where my stats will stay.
Mm-hmm.
And for some of these, I will state, don't necessarily let the stats on your character sheet restrict you. If you have an idea, you can pitch it out to the group for technically their character to have made that conclusion.
Well, that and
I don't want to like put the brakes on any puzzle or anything like that for that reasoning.
Oh, and I've seen some amazing things come out of people they said, so.
Right.
Okay, well, let's head back towards the left. I'm at the edge.
While they were looking at the footprints, Iso is going to hunch down towards the ground, grab one of his ropes, and pull it forward until this little pouch comes in front of him, and he's going to reach inside of it and pull out a little glass vial, and he's going to scoop down, and he's going to scoop some of the slime into that vial, cork it, and put it back into the bag.
Okay.
Seeing
Wonderful.
this, can I like?
Maybe a later snack.
Do you have more of those vials?
I have 4 more. Would you like one, my dear?
Yes. Could you do me the favor and collect some of this slime for me?
Of course. And he'll reach down, scoop up another vial, cork it, and hand it over to you, and it is just full of slime. And he is just standing there holding it out to you with a big smile on his face.
And with that, Iso, I do need another Constitution saving throw.
For the first one or the second one?
The first one.
Okay, Constitution save, you say?
Yep.
Alright. I don't want to say.
Oh no!
That's a 5.
Oh no!
That's a 5. Good to know. We'll continue.
Are we still at that he's trying to hand me a slime-covered...
At that point, yeah. So I would imagine you kind of interrupted him a little bit on the first one, and then he was able to give you the second one.
Uh-huh. Give me one moment. At the very least, I think I might prestidigitate some of the slime on the outside of that before I take it from him.
Maybe a good idea.
Not knowing any of these saving throws are being made, but just because it's dirty.
You'd have no way to know.
Exactly. I'm just saying I'm not metagaming. I just don't want to be dirty.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've made that somewhat clear already with my character.
Right.
Totally in line with your character.
So one thing you do notice between the two scoopings, the one that Iso took and then the one that you now hold, Iniara, they are different colors.
Ooh, what color is mine? Sorry, what color is Iso's?
They're both kind of, I guess the best way to say is they're tinted.
Okay.
A certain color, like they are kind of like a scummy white, but yours is tinted a little yellow. His is tinted a little red.
Okay. Where am I gonna put this?
And they were both pulled from the same effective area because obviously he didn't move a ton of space and scoop again.
Yellow.
But it seems to be tinted different colors.
Do you mention this to the group?
Yeah. I'll give you a second. I'm gonna put this in my notes so that I don't my inventory. It's a little weird that mine is it's a little weird that mine's a different color than yours. And you got them from the same spot. Because I'm like...
Do we have 10 minutes that I could maybe try and identify what this is?
Oh, I got 10 minutes.
Yeah, I got 10 minutes. Totally.
Go get your cup. Where's your cup?
Think does this.
Nice.
And concentrate for 10 minutes on the vials.
Go get your cup.
All right. So, as you sit there, stark still, your detect magic finally goes. Oddly enough, there's nothing magical about them.
Yeah.
Well,
Besides, I mean, other than the magic already on you guys, but that's already clear.
While you do that, I want to investigate to see if the colors change drastically between the areas.
Sure. So you just kind of like watch the water, or how do you do that?
So I'm going to, kind of look along the shoreline and see if I can see like color variations, like a rainbow of prismatic kind of.
Sure.
thing.
Why don't you do an investigation check this
time? So that was a 4 because I rolled a natural 1.
Nice. So here's what happens. As you are kind of going up to the shoreline, kind of investigating that, you get a little closer than you anticipated, and your foot sinks.
Oh boy.
Oh, lovely.
You kind of look down, and like your one leg is kind of awkwardly bent because you just shifted maybe a foot and a half down into this muck.
Guys, I seem to have a problem.
Yep, this would be while Fink is doing that.
Yep. Yep. This is Iso. You're big and strong. Can you pull me out?
I think you're much better than me at that,
I don't know if
Iso.
you're strong.
I think he's stronger than what I would be able to help. Just
He's
based
bigger
off
than
of
me, so I'm bigger than you.
Well,
a week.
I can certainly try. And he wipes his hands on his shell to get some of the slime off of him. And he walks over to Petunia. Alright. And he'll, let's see. He will pull on the rope until he comes to a point where there's a knot. And he'll untie the knot and throw out the rope to Petunia.
Okay.
Hold
I
on
got it.
tight.
Oh boy.
And then, what do you need? A strength?
Yep, strength check or athletics if it's if you're proficient. You can choose to do that to heave on the rope to pull her out.
Well, they're the same, so that would be 11 total.
Okay, easy enough. And with Petunia's help, you're able to kind of pull her out. Thankfully, you didn't lose a boot in the process. You are able to keep your foot rigid enough and kind of pull back through the muck and get yourself out.
Huh. That was close.
Unfortunately, you don't know if the color's changed on the shore.
I do not. I got way too distracted.
Something about getting stuck. I mean,
Yeah. Seemed to change things.
So I do have one kind of quick question. We've had to kind of make these saves every time we've encountered this or touched the slime, right?
Right, do I have to?
Seems to be so, yes.
Iso's not wearing shoes. Does he have to make a save every footstep?
No.
Oh, thank God.
No. Nowhere near that evil. No.
no, man.
You, I guess, kind of a little meta here for all of you. You kind of guess that the soil itself has diluted it enough that touching the soil isn't bad.
Palaces of stone!
Since I sunk in it, do I have to, by chance, make one?
Nope. You're good.
Okay, cool.
You did not directly touch slime.
No, you are correct.
Yeah, it's directly touch.
Yep.
Perfect.
Well, my dear, you're lucky I could pull you out of that spot.
I am extremely fortunate you were here.
Sorry, I'm not much of help for
Yes.
this.
It is roughly about this time that you get an extreme urge. More than that, even. You are compelled to either soak yourself in water or roll around in mud. And that needs to happen now.
Okay. So Iso just kind of stands up or gets rigid as he can in his old age. Just kind of, oh, that was a lot of work getting you out of that. I will be right back, my dear. And he just turns and walks towards the water. Doesn't
All
seem
right.
heading to the water.
Whoa!
I don't know. I don't think that's a good idea.
That's not a good idea. I'm gonna cast Charm Person on Iso.
Okay. So I'd say you probably got about 30 feet closer to the water before she did that.
And that's a Wisdom saving throw.
Should be about there.
Are we? Does the okay, never
I
mind.
was looking
Wisdom
at
save.
water over here, so he just pulled me out. So I'd be like right there.
Yep. And he'd probably actually be pretty close to you at that point too.
Yep. 12.
Oh, good. You just make it.
Oh no.
Oh no, that did not work.
Do you
Alright,
need any sort of corner here or anything?
Yeah. Now, why don't we? Let's roll initiative here to see if we succeed.
Before we do that, I'm gonna go put little one down. She did not take a nap today, and she has become very angry. So I will be
No
right
worries.
back, and I will tell you my initiative is.
Okay. Apologies, Fink.
Oh,
You're still
13.
kind of focusing a little bit on that.
That was going to be my question.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, here, I'll tell you what. Mercy of the DM, why don't you roll me a D100?
Okay. Uh, 46.
36. Okay.
46.
46. Gotcha. I would say it will take you another round to finish. So you're right near that 10-minute mark at this point.
Okay.
So you can finish that up, and then you can assist as need be.
Okay.
For some reason, my brain thought you were making her do a check or a save or something, and my brain just blue screened at death when she said 46.
Right?
Iso, with a roll of a 2, -1, has 1.
Nice. Did Petunia say what she rolled before she left?
She did, I didn't catch it.
Okay, I didn't either. Iniara or Fink?
10.
10?
Mhm.
Or did Iniara also leave?
Sorry, I had to get a snack
She
for the little
didn't.
one. What did
Okay.
I miss? There wasn't a time to
Petunia
say.
left to deal with her little one.
Oh.
So roll initiative. We are attempting to stop Iso from just walking into the lake.
Oh, okay. Okay. What's my dex? 15. I gotta bring up the app. It was just maybe easier. I got 15 plus whatever my initiative is, plus 3. So 18.
18.
It might not be a bad idea for me to get, once he's done with his cookie, to get him in for bed too.
Okay.
But we got a little bit of time. I just gave him cookies.
I rolled a 13, by the way. I'll be right back.
13?
Again.
Okay. Yep. I think we might take a brief break here as well, so we can take care of kids for the night.
Yeah, surely. He's...
And we will come back to this exciting, does he make it or does he not? All right, welcome back, everybody. Our group of adventurers was just in the midst of stopping Iso from plunging, face first into the water over near the Grung Lake. Not that you guys know that, but you know that. You found it this far. Anyway, we have rolled initiative. Let's kick it off right away. Iniara, so out of the corner of your eye, well, I mean, you've heard all of this. You heard Iso pretty much matter-of-factly going, he's going to take a dip. Petunia, kind of in a panic, threw and attempted to cast a spell that seemed to have failed.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
That's a good question. What can I do? I don't have any, I'm more attack-based this time playing. He's not in the water yet, is he?
Nope. You would estimate he's probably got about 20, 25 feet to go. But he is still on the move.
On the move. How far is he from me?
Let's see here.
I mean, I guess I don't know where I was
70
at.
feet, give or take. Each square on this map is about 10 feet.
Oh, there's no way I'm getting close to him then. I guess I'll move forward and attempt to try and rush to him.
Okay.
But I think using all of my action only gets me there.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, that would be your movement and your action to get there.
That's it then, I guess.
Okay. Petunia. You see Eniara come rushing forward to try to help.
Oh boy, I have like nothing. So
You burned through about 50% of your spell slots last round.
Right?
I did burn through about 50% of my spells. So that's not happening again right this moment. I'm just gonna try and, I suppose, grapple him to the ground. Kind of tackle him.
Sure.
I know he's bigger than I am, but...
Why don't we do an athletics versus athletics or acrobatics?
Oh.
So, Petunia, if you could roll me an athletics check, and then Iso, athletics or acrobatics to stop the grapple.
Okay. I rolled.
I got a 6.
There's hope.
Nope.
I got a 22.
It
Hope was
close.
dashed.
It was so close.
You reach out, and pretty much all you're able to do is like claw or like grab at a little bit of shell, but that's about it. You just slide right off.
Oh, wait a minute. Can I use Lucky?
You certainly could.
Ooh, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. Because that's whenever I miss, I can add in or spend 1 to roll an additionally 20 and choose which one. Okay, well, I'm going to try that. I'm going to use that.
So in that very moment, you kind of get a quick snapshot of, well, this is how it could have been. And then you see a golden die kind of roll across your mind, and you get a second opportunity.
Ooh, I got a whole 9.
And oddly enough, this time instead of just sliding on the shell, you're able to kind of grab a hold of one of the roped packs or like sacks that he has, and he kind of jerks for a little bit before it kind of rips out of your hand.
I tried. Somebody grab him.
I'll try in my next 6 seconds.
Yeah, next 6 seconds. That's it. I don't have anything else. I move over. I move down next to him since I grappled him because I moved forward, so I'd be right there. And that's it.
Think, unfortunately, you are still stuck.
Oh.
And just as you're about, like, all of this is happening, you finally snap out of the ritual, you stop concentrating. This isn't magical by any means. And you turn to witness all of this. Unfortunately, that's your turn, though.
Well, crap.
Iso. Let's see here. 30 feet of movement will basically put you into the lapping water.
I was gonna say, how much does he want to go for a swim?
It is a very, very intense desire.
Okay, he's going the full 60.
Oh God, no.
He's go. If
No,
it's
no,
that
no,
strong,
it's
he's going.
It would make sense.
It makes sense. It's
Yeah.
just
Sad.
Oh no!
That puts him right
Just
about
oh
there.
no!
It does. Just oh no.
All right, so you see him shrug off the attempt by Petunia, and he just goes. You feel like you haven't seen this turtle move that fast in a long time. And he just kind of forward flops towards the water with a. He is submerged.
And he picks up speed once he hits water.
Yeah. That's
So
for
yeah,
sure. You are submerged at this point.
So-
The ick of the water going up over your head as you kind of drop underneath the water.
so I touched ooze again, right, on the surface of the lake. Do I need to do anything, or has it already claimed its victim, so to speak?
I'll be slightly benevolent here, and I'll allow you to roll a d6, and we'll let that help decide.
Okay. Works for me. Let's see. That is a uno.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, roll me a Constitution save.
Oh,
Okay.
goodness, no.
That is a 10 total.
A 10. Wonderful. We'll come back to that one too.
Oh, that
All
doesn't
right.
sound good.
That's Iso's turn. We come back to Iniara. You just watch your turtle companion go underwater. Go beneath the scummy surface that is this lake.
Yep, I'm just gonna kind of like finger up, down, back to the lips, like And that's probably my turn because I can't do shit here.
Just kind of.
Watch.
I don't think I don't.
Iso's brother, Iso the 729th.
All right, Petunia.
Oh boy.
I'm not going in there after him. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, that's difficult to say. Well, oh gosh, yeah, I don't have anything. I guess. I mean, I'm just really random. I'm gonna cast light on him again. So that he's a beacon. That's all I got.
Do you have to
Isn't
have
that a
line of
random
sight?
touch?
Because
Oh, it is touch, isn't it? Oh, darn
Yeah,
it.
Oh, I
think it's
suppose.
touch for sure.
Yeah,
I could have
then I can
done-
touch him.
Speaking of that, like I could have done something then. Technically, it's fine. I could have done dancing lights, but I'll have to do it next
Dancing
turn.
lights just kind of hover though.
Yeah, but I can direct him where to go,
True.
so I'll have to do that next time.
Okay.
But does that need line of sight? Because I'm underwater now.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to cast Sacred Flame.
Just in his
Not
general
very.
direction.
It's a 60
Okay.
feet, so I can, I'm gonna go where I saw him and where I think he is at 60 feet. I know he was going full tilt and just hope for the best.
Yeah, that would be what I could do with dancing lights. Is just kind of because it doesn't say you have to see
Oh,
it. It's just
man.
within range.
Come on, load up. There
And
it is.
it's a dexterity saving throw.
It descends on a creature that you can see within range
For what? Who are you talking
for
to?
Sacred Flame. So
Okay.
you do have to be able to see him.
Ah,
I was on mute, and yeah, that was my question too.
Because I was just looking that one up in my skill book.
yeah, then I got nothing.
I will say, if you choose to do it, you can do it. It's just pretty much going to hit the water and fizzle, is what you think will happen.
That's what I'm gonna do. That's all I got. So I'm just gonna
Okay.
nothing.
What color is your Sacred Flame?
Ooh, my Sacred Flame comes out as green flame.
Green flame. Okay, so that little jet of green kind of extends from your palm into the water, and as soon as it hits, it kind of like hisses a little bit, and then just seems to have hit the surface and died.
I think he went that way. That's my turn. I'm at the edge of the water.
All right.
Just as a general question for the DM, when I hit the water and there's all that slime, as I move through it, wouldn't that cause kind of a wake and cause it to split, or did the water just lap it back together?
I guess it would be kind of like throwing a stone into it a little bit, is that there would be a little bit of a wave, but it would kind of all come back together fairly quick.
Okay, thank you.
Kind of thing. So it kind of splooked, and then the scum would kind of fill back over. So you'd have a general spot where he entered, but not necessarily where he's at. All right, Think. It is your go. What would you like to attempt to do?
How close am I right now? I'm pretty far away, aren't I?
You are fairly far away, yeah. So to Iniara is about 50 feet. Petunia is 70. And about 90 to Iso. Under the water. So he is not visible.
Does he appear to still have, like, forward momentum, or is he kind of...
You don't know. He is completely under the surface, and it just kind of, like, just black. As far as you can see, it just kind of, the surface of the water just eats your vision.
I'll tell you what I would like to try. I don't think I can do it in one round.
Okay.
But I would like to move 30 feet closer, because closer is always better. And then I would like to use my magical tinkering and pick up a stone on the ground and basically shout at it as loud as I can, saying, "Issa, what are you doing? Get out of there." And if I can on the same turn, huck it at him, and hopefully it'll tap him.
All right, I like it.
You tell me how much of that I can do in one turn.
Yeah, I'm just looking. I don't know if
It's on page 11 of Tasha's, if you have Tasha's.
I don't have Tasha's at hand.
Do you need me to come bring it to you?
You know what? We're going to roll with the rule of cool at the moment. I really like the idea. We're just going to do it. I'm going to say that's going to take your action to happen, and until I look into it a little bit more and make sure that that's how it should roll, we'll just do that for now. So, yeah, I like your idea. Why don't you go ahead? You move 30 feet forward, shouting into this rock that you kind of just picked up. Turn and just heave it into the water. Why don't you just give me a ranged attack roll? So dexterity plus your proficiency, because you're proficient with rock.
Cool. That's helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. Because my dexterity, I think, is, -1. 17.
17. That's pretty solid. And I would say with all of that, that's your kind of turn, is you just kind of turn and heave it, and you feel like you kind of, after your ritual cast, you kind of saw him dive into the water. You kind of have a feel for it, so you turn and you just throw in that general direction. And Iso, oddly enough, you do hear that rock go maybe about 10 feet, 15 feet away from you. He has got a great arm and just really launched that shot put into the water.
10 feet, right? 10 feet away.
Yeah.
It can be heard within 10 feet.
Right. Okay. And so, with that, the rock kind of splashes into the water, and then the sound reverberates a little warbly, but you get the message. You still feel very compelled to stay underwater for now.
Okay.
Worth a shot. That's my turn.
It was fantastic. It was
Okay,
better
so
than my,
while
like...
While I'm underwater, does it look
Mhm.
different, or is there anything strange about the water, I guess I should say? Or can I even see down here because there's pretty much kind of a film on top of me?
Well, that's the interesting thing. Now that you've broken the surface and you're down underwater, you notice, like, kind of looking around, the rest of the lake actually looks pretty good. The lower half of it, give or take, is still pretty clear. It seems that all of that scum and slime and everything sticks to maybe the top, like, 5 feet or so of the water itself. But now being underneath of it, you get a good look. And why don't you roll me a perception check?
Okay. Can do that. Everyone's favorite. We're going with passive of a 12.
Passive of a 12. Okay. So with that, you see a couple of larger figures, humanoid in shape, because they kind of like claw their way through the water as you kind of watch the swim motions, kind of a little bit deeper into the water itself. You'd say maybe another few hundred feet into the lake. And the give or take, I mean, you still have a little bit of your cognitive function here. It's not like you're completely transfixed and this is all you can do. You can still kind of think a little bit, but
Okay.
About where that grung, I'm getting super meta here, where the wooden palisade is a little bit into the lake, you can see that it kind of extends deep under the water itself.
Okay.
So it's just more than just surface level is what you can tell.
Okay, but I am still seeing like vegetation down here. There's still, seaweed and stuff like that.
Yeah. So at this point, you do see lights. There is like kelp and seaweed and all of this within the water itself. I'm probably again making myself look a little bit of a fool not knowing underwater vegetation. But there's
seaweed.
seaweed in a lake, right? Anyway. But you do notice like fish that live closer to the bottom of the lake. You can kind of see some of this. It is fairly clear now that you're under the water.
Okay, and I do see 2 figures out in the distance, right?
Several, more than just 2.
So at that point,
they don't seem to be transfixed or looking in your direction. They're just kind of out doing their own thing at this moment.
So in that case, when I see them, I'm going to call out in Aquan and say, "Hello, is this your lake? Are you locals?" And that'll be my turn.
Oh no.
All right. Doing so, at the moment, they don't seem to respond or react. But judging by the distance between you, it might take a little bit for that to cut through. Knowing Aquan itself, sorry?
I was going to say, that's cool. I'm not going anywhere. I'm cool underwater.
Yeah. So knowing Aquan and just the way that the language works, you know that it can cut through water because otherwise it would be useless. So you pretty much just let out a good shout to let yourself be heard underwater. And again, they just, at the moment, don't seem to react. All right. Shore folk, what would you like to do?
Stand helplessly on the shoreline right now and just like, it doesn't seem good. This does not seem very good. I don't see him. I am not going in there.
Curious question real quick. When I spoke to them, were there any air bubbles?
That's a very interesting question. Since you do breathe oxygen and you can survive underwater for quite some time, probably a little bit.
Okay.
But I would think like the nature of Aquan would largely not require you to expel air. Because for some, I don't know, that's just my own thought on it. But yeah, so there would be a couple things. If anybody on the surface would like to roll a perception check, you may do so now.
Yes. I would like to do that.
I was trying to throw them at
That's
least a
above
small little
passive.
bone or
Oh,
something.
no, that's fine. That's a good thought, and something I would not have considered with Aquan or you speaking underwater, oddly.
Ooh, total of 18. Sorry.
$17?
17?
Oh, that makes my 3 look so fabulous.
You need new dice, Petunia. Those have been real bad tonight.
I'm using D&D Beyond for the first time, and it is not happy with me.
No.
I don't see. Like I don't like
It's
using
too
it.
random. You
So-
don't get that. You
And
can't
it's not-
modify your rolls as you roll.
And it's not the
Mine is
satisfaction of
very
actually rolling.
Bring
We
my
like
dice
the-
back
Just
down.
bring
now.
out your
It's a
high
little
low
bit
dice.
bad.
It's fine.
Yeah, if I
With
had
an
those.
18 and a 17, though, you guys, I will say, probably notice like 1 or 2 bubbles that seem just slightly out of place on the scummy surface, but that's what you got. And even then, you're not positive what that could mean. But it is about a good distance out into the water from you, about 50 feet. So, I mean, you can't really tell a lot from that. All right. We will move back over to ESO unless you guys wanted to do anything with that.
I'd like to move up, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're first, I think.
I am actually. Can I do something?
Sure.
Cool. I am going to do hidden step and turn invisible,
Okay.
and then I am going to run into the water after him.
Wonderful. I
Oh
love
god.
it.
Oh.
He's
So
under
as
water.
all this
I'm
is going
diving
on,
under.
you guys notice the faint little bubbling off in the corner and maybe turn to look towards Petunia. She's gone. There, no trace of her, except you see big footprints moving towards the water, and then a sploosh as some creature, some figure disappears into its depths as well. Petunia, can you give me a Constitution saving throw and then a D6, please?
Okay, I will, and I'm going to use different dice in.
Hey.
Yeah. So
Fink.
it's a 2.
Please tell me
Oh,
you're not going to
nice.
do that too, because I really don't.
Plus 1 is a 3. Woo.
Nice. All right, and then a D6, please.
1.
A 1. Good to know. Okay. I will hang on to that as well.
Perfect. So I dove under the water because that's where he went.
Okay.
Um,
And as you kind of pass underneath and get a little bit under the surface, you can see perfectly fine. You do notice the large turtle shape about 10 or so feet off to your right. There's a big rock that you recognize as Sphinx. It's kind of like falling and rolling a little bit on the slope in towards the lake bottom.
okay. Now that I can see him, I'm going to use my action to cast Sacred Flame again.
Okay, Issa, I need
No.
a dexterity save.
Oh, well, what am I doing?
1!
You take a
Should distract.
whole 5 points of damage.
Wow.
Whole 5 points of radiant damage.
Oh.
So again, that green jet of fire kind of shoots out of Petunia's hands, just searing straight through the water. You kind of see for a brief second like the line of evaporated water before it just kind of slowly closes in, and then strikes Iso in the back. Meanwhile, on the surface.
I just look at Aniara and be like, what's happening here?
I don't know, and I'm not going in that unless it's life or death.
You're not gonna sink like a rock if I go in there, because, well,
Yeah.
I'm mostly rock. So, and he's a turtle. Like, they can survive underwater.
Yep.
Fine.
So yeah, just me and Fink are basically having a small conversation on here. Like, I ain't going in there. He'll be fine, right?
Do I notice if he reacts to getting hit by the flame?
Yeah, presumably he does.
Okay. And he's still going?
Well, he's kind of just floating in one spot at the moment. He seems to be waiting for something.
I am swimming to the surface.
Okay.
That long stare says so much.
Yeah.
So, Petunia, you break the surface to finish out your turn, kind of thing, and you're back above and in the scum and slime that is the surface of this lake. So you got hit in the back, which seems kind of weird, and then you kind of see Petunia just like shoot up towards the surface. The figures you shouted to seem to have turned their attention your direction, and you see like fins on the side of their greenish face as they begin clawing and swimming quickly your direction. They didn't answer. They just moved your way.
Ooh, that doesn't seem good either.
But on the positive side, you no longer feel the need to be fully submerged unless you choose to continue to be. That desire is now faded. You feel moist again, basically. You feel saturated and content.
Okay. So Iso is going to, seeing Petunia has gone up, will swim to the surface, and when he breaks the surface, he is going to glare at her and be like, "What is it with you young people? First you try and blind me, then you try and set me on fire. What is
All
wrong
you hear
with you?"
is ribbits.
Yeah.
The whole of his speech, everything that comes out now is just ribbit, 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 ribbit. As he
but
is
his
berating
arms
you.
are flailing.
You can tell he's berating you. You just don't know what he's saying.
Like when
they're
our
very
toddler got
angry
mad
ribbits.
and you couldn't understand him, but that pattern of like I'm pissed off was there.
You see the fear in my eyes, like,
So he's going to continue talking without the ribbits, and he's going to be like, "Now, before you try to set me on fire, I was going to tell you that I saw some people down there, and they are coming to join us." And as he's doing that, he's pointing out towards where he saw the people, and then pointing to himself, like, down, so that they kind of get the idea there's something over there, and they're coming here.
Petunia,
But it's
halfway through that, you understand him.
oh. Okay.
Which like when did it start picking up though?
Right when he said, those people down there, and he begins pointing and elaborating there, that's when it clicks. You understand everything he's saying.
Oh, yeah.
Just Petunia? What do we hear from the shore?
Just Petunia, you two hear nothing but ribbits.
Back and forth?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Petunia hasn't spoken yet, but presumably.
Petunia yells back at him, "Okay," and starts swimming towards shore.
You hear a loud ribbit, and then towards shore.
Iso is also going to start heading towards shore, but he's going to stand like just on the shoreline. And he's going to turn around, face out towards the water, and plant his hands on his hips. He's not talking to anyone. He is just scowling right now.
Sorry, are you facing shore or facing us?
I'm facing out towards the water,
Oh,
towards
towards the water. Okay.
whatever I pointed to out there, and I'm just waiting.
Okay. I think our people might have gone slightly crazy. Don't drink the water. Don't drink the water.
I'm not going anywhere near that water.
Yeah, no.
It got weird.
I'm gonna just slightly like.
I'm like backpedal.
Yep. I had some movement at some point. I could move away from the water.
No words, just
right.
glares.
Are we, so can I cast, my healing light?
Sure. You definitely can.
I can heal the one creature I can see within 60 feet, and I'm gonna do it on Iso, because I earned him.
Right.
You only hurt him a little bit. I mean.
Oh, he's aware.
I was trying to help. Okay. Ooh, 2.
Ooh,
That's
so
always
much.
fabulous. And
That's 2 more than I had. Almost gets me back up to full.
Okay.
So with that, you guys sit there and wait a little bit. Presumably Iso and Petunia just kind of facing towards the water, ready for something. You don't know what. A couple minutes passes and nothing. Whatever was coming towards you seems to have stopped.
Cool.
Okay.
Are they still croaking at each other? Or is he still...
I think Iso is still kind of glaring towards the water.
Yeah, he hasn't said a word.
I turn and I try to tell them that little bits I could understood and that he was talking in ribbits, and at first I didn't.
You understand everything she says?
So
She's talking normally. She's talking normally. It's not ribbits, to be clear.
Cool.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Iso? What did you see down there?
Silence.
To be fair, Iso, not to throw Petunia under the, wagon wheels, but me and Fink didn't do anything to you.
I needed to get his attention.
You kind of see his stance relax a little bit. He's like, well, I suppose that's true. Turns around, still just glaring right at Petunia before he turns his attention back on you two. Well, when I was under there, funny, I don't remember wanting to go in the water when we first got here, but then it just looks so inviting. Anyway, there were some lovely people down there with gills and claws, and they were coming our way. But they,
Did you talk to them?
I tried, but they didn't communicate.
Either they didn't want to or didn't understand.
Well, they were a goodly way off, so... I don't remember...
When you hop in the water, do you usually start croaking after you get out?
Yeah, you
What
were
a thing that happens to your people?
And if I don't even know where to begin.
I mean, you were kind of ribbit, and then Petunia was talking, and then Petunia started ribbiting back at you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I do not ribbit.
But you did.
But so did Petunia, and I don't think Petunia's normal is a ribbit either.
Well, why would she ribbit? She's a furball.
Why would you ribbit? You're a turtle.
Exactly.
I don't know what turtles sound like, but it's not a frog.
It's got something to do with the water. I mean, come on. Creepy, slimy water.
Yeah.
Both underneath.
Yeah, but
You guys are the only two that went in.
Yeah, that was gross. I didn't like it. I didn't feel good when I got in it.
It
But
doesn't look
he's
like it feels good.
back.
I have never had a day in all of my years as insulting and rude as this day.
To be fair, we weren't insulting you, we were merely pointing out a fact that you're no longer doing it anymore as you were doing it.
I do not ribbit.
Alrighty.
Because when I was talking in my head, I'm talking normal, right? I was not riveting.
100% does not sound like a ribbit to you. Just normal speech.
I am not sacrificing myself to prove a point. We'll just keep going.
I mean,
Okay.
Is it against me to push Petunia into the water? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
It would prove a point, but I wouldn't do it. Or would I?
That is the question. Do you?
No, I wasn't
Can you?
gonna.
Can you push Petunia? into
Could I
real
push
life?
Petunia with my 8 strength? Probably
Based
not.
on how she's rolling tonight, very possible.
Very possible.
No, I will. Wasn't
Well,
gonna
since
play.
going to the left wasn't good, do we want to go to the right?
I'm telling you, those figures were swimming right at us. I don't know what's taking them so long.
They lost interest? Maybe?
I'm good.
Well, let me find out. And I'll turn around and start walking back towards the water.
hey, let's see if he starts riveting again. I whispered to
boy.
Petunia and
Yeah,
Yara.
but we got no way to prove that he's riveting.
I will walk out far enough that I can stick my head underwater and scream down to them in Aquan, "Get your gilly asses up here!"
All right, so you walk about 10 feet in so that you can like plunge down under and do this. And you look about to the direction that they were before, and they have moved a considerable distance at this point, and are well past maybe what you consider that wooden palisaded area. But waiting a few seconds, they do turn and kind of look back your direction like fangs, as best you can tell, because they went from like a blue-green lip to immediately showing like a white in your direction as their fins kind of flutter a bit and begin moving your direction again.
Okay, I will pick my head up out of the water, turn towards the group. Okay, diplomacy may have failed.
Is he riveting?
So, why don't you roll me a Constitution saving throw?
I'm sorry, but like he put his head in the water.
Oh no, absolutely, I love it. 6.
6. Roll me a d6.
Okay, one sec. 3.
3. You see Iso pop up, begin talking, and then slowly submerge back under the water again, having that strong urge to need to be submerged. So he begins talking, it's just and then he's gone.
This time he'll only move the 30. Well, yeah, because...
So I guess technically you would have heard diplomacy failed, and then he submerges.
Go about that far. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think that this is a very... Okay, then. I'm just gonna stand back here with you, Fink, and hopefully they come out of the water, and then I can do something.
I don't want to go back. It wasn't pleasant the first time.
I don't think any of us like the water other than Iso.
But
I don't
get it.
I don't know. He's a water race, I guess.
So as this is happening, you kind of turn back, feeling again like at home, very much loving this ick that is this lake. and you turn back to look at your new friends who are rushing your direction. And they seem to be closing this distance rather quickly. So again, it seems kind of odd that they didn't surface the last time.
Can I perception, as they're moving closer now, can I count how many figures I see?
Sure. Go ahead and roll a perception. It won't be too difficult, but as long as it's basically not a 1, you're good.
Well,
12.
12. Okay. So kind of looking at that, you see 3 figures that seem to have grabbed your message and begin rushing in towards you. They don't look happy. Even at this distance, you can tell they do not look happy.
How far under the water am I?
At the moment, I would say you're probably about 10 feet under.
Okay,
So you still have a little bit of swim distance up to the surface yet. But right now, you feel pretty good under the water.
I am gonna swim up, but I'm still gonna stay submerged. But I'm gonna poke my hand up out of the water and just hold up 3 claws.
Gotcha.
Or 3 fingers on my claw.
Yeah, I'll allow that. That's fine. Yeah, because you
And
still
then
be
the hand-
mostly like slick still as you're doing that, and then pull your hand back under.
Right, like immediately.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It keeps it in the spirit of the idea, without TPKing you guys.
Is he trying to say like 3 seconds, 3 minutes he'll be out of the water?
Maybe he sees 3 people.
That could be 3 people.
that could be that too. Yep.
They'll be
Maybe
here
he's
in
done
3
with it.
seconds,
3
3
people.
minutes.
I'd like to prepare something.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you like to prepare?
Ugh. No, never mind. I don't know. I'll just
Okay.
pull out my mace. No,
Sure.
I don't want to hold a spell.
You can always hold a cantrip without problems.
Yeah.
That way you don't use a spell slot. Assuming you have an attack cantrip, you might not.
I would like to hold Mind Sliver. Well,
Okay.
actually, no. I'm gonna do Chill Touch because that's got further. No, because I can't see. I'll do Mind Sliver, like I said,
Okay.
for if something other than
Assume the trigger
ESO
is-
pops out of the water.
Okay.
And I'm gonna
Sage,
hold death.
Yep. I'm gonna hold another sacred flame if I see one of the creatures ESO described.
Okay. Sure. So a little bit of time goes. You guys kind of like lose focus on a cantrip for a little bit. ESO, you kind of keep seeing these things rush in towards you, and it's about, I don't know, they're about 200 feet away at most before that urge to be underwater is just gone again. You feel good. You feel lubricated and good if you wish to pop out of the water.
Nope, he's
Weird.
staying.
You keep saying lubricated and things like that. It's just weird.
I don't.
I know it makes sense with the slime.
Give me another good term for wet.
Moist.
Like, well, that offends some people. So some people find that a weird word. I know I said it once already, but I'm trying not to say it again.
Well, I missed what word it was. Moist?
Moist.
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 Yeah.
Ooh,
So for
moist.
those of you that dislike it, I apologize for the previous 10 seconds.
Extremely dewy.
You could say wet,
Yep, there you go.
drenched,
Soggy.
Soggy, yes. Saturated.
saturated.
Soaked.
All right. With that, why don't we go ahead and roll initiative yet again as
As a collective
we
clicking.
are kind of heading into this.
Ooh, okay.
Let me zoom in so I can actually see my battlefield. Can I also be the first to point out, did not anticipate it going this way.
We never go the way you anticipate, just to be fair.
True.
How else it could have gone at this point?
What did you expect us to do?
Not what I did.
Not what just happened.
Okay.
We can discuss that and wrap up. But
I got a 12.
okay, Petunia with a
I
12.
put my 6 in.
You put 6 in? Okay.
Yep.
Iniara or Iso? Iniara got an 8. Iso?
I also had an 8.
Also an 8. Okay. Go ahead and do that. And then...
Had to go get my dice
Ouch.
top
We're going to have these guys move as a unit, and I will be straight up. I rolled a nat 20.
Ouch.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, makes sense.
Yep.
I'd rather have it now
Right,
than in
right,
about
right.
6 seconds.
A natural 20 on initiative is the best place for a DM to have it.
Right?
It really is. I mean, it's really the best for you guys. Okay, so these guys are going to move up. I think that was their full movement. Just about. There we go. That was their turn. They did a full move and dash as they just are ripping through the water to get towards Iso. Petunia on the shoreline.
Mm-hmm.
Holding Sacred Flame,
Yep.
presumably.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Anything else? Did you want to move closer to the water itself? No, you're good where you're at.
It was yes.
Good. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Iniara.
I'm not moving closer. So, and
Mind
I can't.
Sliver still?
Well, yeah, and I can't see them. I don't know how far they're out, so.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So yeah.
That is also accurate.
I will switch to Chill Touch though, because I can reach further with that.
Okay. That still requires sight though, correct?
Yeah, I would. It's at a creature you can see within range.
Okay. But that's 150 feet. So.
120. So if they pop out of the water
My
at
bad.
120.
Yeah. There we
Yeah.
go. Iso. You would put your approximate distance away from them at about 110 feet at the moment.
I'm just gonna bob there, arms crossed, feet crossed, just waiting.
Okay. Think. Mace in hand. Sorry, I'm going to roll back 1 second. Iso, never mind, you're underneath. You're good. Don't need to have you roll a con save because you are below the ick.
Okay, works for me.
I'm just gonna hang out.
Okay. Mace at the ready in case you see something on the surface. That's not
Yeah.
Iso, presumably. I don't know. Maybe you just want to... Whoop! Wrong person. No? Okay.
Sorry, my mace slipped. I'm just gonna wait.
All right. They rush up another full 80 feet.
All underwater.
There's 80.
Speak up so he can hear you.
All
honey.
underwater at the moment, but there seems... Everybody on the surface, roll a perception check.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not bad. 19?
19's pretty good.
18.
Hey, it's above 10.
It is.
Woo!
It's above 10. And that's amazing because I have a +0.
Right. Think?
I'll take my passive of 11.
11? Okay, so you don't notice this, though. The other two, you kind of see, kind of with the speed of movement underwater, the top of the lake kind of gets agitated as a result of 3 big figures zooming in, it seems. Or 3, something under the water is causing the top of the lake to kind of churn just a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that we could see what's under there for our held spells?
I will state it seems like bits of the scum is shifting around a bit. It's not great to look through because, again, it's about 5 feet thick of slime and ick.
Oh, gross.
That, I mean, it's kind of churning at the moment, so it's not easy to still see through it. ESO is even, like, I would say you can just kind of just make out where ESO is under the water as, like, the line of sight kind of improves a bit.
Okay. It was worth a shot of asking.
So I presume shore folk will still be holding your action?
Yep, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where did that ick go? Would they be with it? No, it's 60 feet. Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. I'd still hold the same stuff.
ESO, they are about 30 feet out from you.
Alright, so how pissed off do they look? Now that I can see them better.
Right, so kind of, I don't know how close zoomed in you guys are at these. Why don't you roll me a nature check, ESO? It is likely in your aquatic life you might have come across these. As they have gotten much closer now, you can really see the details.
Ooh, 18.
Thank you, D&D Beyond, for this pronunciation. You notice 3 sahuagins, which are fish. I always thought it was sahuagin because reasons, but sahuagin, with their like fins on the side of their face and fangy, monstrous faces. They are not happy. They are aggressively maybe defending an area.
Okay. So I'm gonna move back just a bit, seeing how upset they are, but still trying to stay, underwater.
Okay.
And then
under the layer of ick, or just underwater? Okay.
Under the layer of ick, basically.
So at this point, I think you would kind of have to like flatten out a bunch to maintain underneath of it as the shoreline is starting to meet up with that layer.
Well, basically, I'm getting as close as I can to the ick, and then I'm going to tuck my arms and legs and head inside of my shell and bob up to the surface.
Nice.
So that my shell breaks the surface.
Okay. Nice.
As he sees those and he's just kind of, might have misjudged this one.
All right, and with that, out of the water and in the ick itself, you see a turtle shell kind of bobbing and floating there as we move over to Fink.
Is he still alive?
You see a turtle shell bob to the surface. There are no arms or legs visible.
We've seen them do this before, though, last
or
night.
Head.
We have seen him do this before when he was lit up.
Either that or they were really good and took off, arms, legs, and head all in one go.
Mm-hmm.
He's been under there kind of a little while.
That's true.
And to be fair, you don't know how long he can breathe underwater.
Also true.
Also true. Also
I
true.
figured that out.
Breathe? Not at all.
No. I'm still holding Sacred Flame until
Yep.
I see something other than him.
I got Mind
It's
Sliver.
nothing. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, I'll just say, hey, are they still coming for us? Or you? Something?
You would hear Fink.
Yeah, but I'm still underwater, so I wouldn't be able to respond.
True. All right.
Okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just keep standing here, waiting
Mm-hmm.
until I see something. The direction.
All right.
All I got is
So-
throw a rock further than Iso.
They are going to kind of surround around your turtle shell, and you see these fishy monsters kind of pop up into the scum and take a spear and try to jab into the turtle shell. They will get their attacks off first, and then you guys can have your reactions.
Okay.
Thankfully, ooh. Iso, just technical question, asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Are you full health?
Oh,
Am I
no.
at full health? No, I am not.
Whoops.
Okay. I would say, though, you're probably not bleeding. So I will...
No, the flames cauterize the wound.
Exactly. Yeah, you're missing health, but you're not bleeding into the water, so
Right.
we're good there. With the first spear attack, I think a 15 will miss.
Wholeheartedly. I will
Second
miss.
spear attack at 15 will miss.
Miss.
And an 11 is not going to cut it either.
Nope.
Furious that their melee weapons seem to be failing them, I'll let everyone get their round of reactions off that we're holding actions.
Okay. I
If you want
rolled.
to throw your mace at him, Fink, I'll let you do that too if you really want.
No, thanks. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I rolled a natural 20 to hit him with chill touch. So I'm
good.
Okay, let me double check. That does hit.
okay. I'm gonna roll my 2 dice. It feels good at level 2 to roll 2.
Which one are you attacking?
Whichever one technically came up out of the surface first.
It'd have been about the same, so feel free to pick one.
The closest one. Woo! Okay. Almost max. And an 8 and a 6, so 12.
So 14 points of damage.
Yes. I did math wrong.
Nice.
Dang. Okay. Your bony hand like kind of comes out of the water itself. It's kind of very weird because the last couple of times it's been like out of the earth, but this one kind of comes from the ick that is the sea, and it almost looks like the bone has webbing in itself as it grabs onto the Sahuagin, dealing massive damage. This thing is shrieking in pain as the bony hand happens. Petunia, Sacred Flame is a dex save.
Yes.
Dex save, 11.
No, it does not save.
Hey! Which one are you going for?
This one's closest to me.
Closest? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I rolled a whole 1.
1 point of damage.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. I made up
It
for
still
it.
looks
That's
like
all.
It hurts. Still hurts quite a bit.
But my dice. I got my tackle box so I could time out all my dice.
Nice.
Oh.
As these 2 attacks land, you see them, one of them just like rip its head towards the shore to see what caused all of this. It is just furious as you see hatred in its fishy eyes. Turns and with the rest of them attempts to bite into the shell of Iso, and you just see their teeth kind of scrape across its surface, thankfully missing all the ropes and pegs.
Yeah.
Unless you pull those in with you, but I think that would be kind of crowded.
No, they don't come in.
Okay.
They're wrapped around the shell.
Right. Yeah. You never know. Like you maybe you made a little cubby for them inside.
Nope, no prison wallet.
Petunia.
Okay. So
They're currently everything is kind of bobbing on the surface, trying to claw and attack, and do its best to kind of de-shell Iso.
That's
yeah,
not very nice.
I don't think I can speak to them. I'm not sure if I have the same language. Obviously.
Man, I just realized I failed at switching music. It's been way too peaceful.
Way too peaceful.
Ah.
see.
You pretty much should have started that music as soon as we got to the lake.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty much.
So I am going to cast Disguise Self as I can see them now.
Okay.
And I am going to try to make myself, because I'm huge, look like the biggest, scariest version of them that I can muster.
Okay. All right.
With that, my goal is to try to intimidate them and yell to get them back in the water. I'm going to use common because I don't know what else.
Don't know other fun languages?
I know
Okay.
some, well, I could use some fun languages, but none that, I mean, they think they would know. They seem pretty
Gotcha.
far out there.
Does your clothing change with it?
I don't believe. Hold on. Oh yeah,
Well,
including
given
your
the
clothing,
choice,
armor, weapons, and other belongings.
Do you change it?
Yes. To make it, I want to look as close to them as possible, just large and slightly more terrifying.
Okay. Gotcha.
Bigger fangs, stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. Just way more imposing.
Yeah. And like a
So
foot taller
you,
than myself, so like really tall.
Why don't you give me an intelligence check, quick? As you kind of quickly scope these out, like, okay, what would a female version of that maybe look like? Or,
Yep.
you know, because you kind of just see like Ripley fish pectorals at the moment.
I would just look like them, wouldn't I?
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. I just try to mimic them exactly, but just
Okay,
more
just bigger.
exaggerated.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why don't you give me an intimidation roll then, as you kind of tower over everything else, shouting and gesturing their way.
I got a 6.
Don't forget, you also have inspiration and lucky if you feel it is important.
I am going to definitely use lucky because that was not good.
All right. So again, that picture in your mind kind of triggers. You see what the big monstrous Sahuagin form would look like, and your first attempt doesn't seem like it's going to work very well. So you're like, no, let's try that again.
Yeah, I kind of look and start. I do the speech, but at the end of the speech, I yell really loud this time, and this time I rolled a 22.
Nice.
There you go.
So.
All right. With that, you see what was originally hatred immediately turn into surprise and fear on their faces, realizing that maybe this was a bad idea, and that whatever else is not good. Even not speaking the same language, oddly enough, it just seems like an intimidating force behind all of that. There you are. Eniara, what would you like to do as you hear roars and a whole bunch of other cacophony of noises coming from Petunia?
I'm going to do Mind Sliver on the one that I've already hit.
Okay. Go ahead.
I need an intelligence.
Save, yeah.
Yep.
It seems like your attempts to dive into its mind at the moment are completely shattered.
What?
Whatever has grabbed its attention right now is just singularly focused on it, and it doesn't seem like anything else can pry in at the moment. And I got a nat 20.
Okay, that's what I got then. So.
Okay. Iso, inside the turtle shell.
Alright. So Iso is going to bonus action pop out of his shell.
Okay.
He is going to yell "Fury!" and strike at one next to him. Which
Okay.
one is taking damage?
The one on your left. So right there is taking damage. Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take a swing on him.
And as you kind of pop out and yell fury, you notice their eyes went from like narrow hatred, singular focus to just wide and in shock. And you don't fully know why, other than you know Petunia was shouting. But anyway, you go ahead and attack.
Seeing that, he might alter his swing slightly to make it non-lethal.
Okay, sure.
That is 11 total to hit.
11 to hit?
Yep.
11 just misses.
No fury.
No fury.
And then he will use... Yeah, he'll use half of his movement to stand up. Actually, he probably would have done that prior to swinging.
Okay.
So
right.
now I am standing up out of the water.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's my turn.
Fink.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire on him.
Oh, you're casting what? I'm sorry?
Fairy Fire.
Fairy Fire. I think you'd be able to hit everybody in that area. Okay. I need a dex save, Eso.
No, not ESO. I think I could pick
It's a cube, isn't it?
I think it's a blanket, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
No, well,
a... Okay.
Otherwise, if you did shift it, you could probably just hit the back, too.
Sure, why not?
Fairy Fire.
I'll just
Roll with
all of
it.
them.
20-foot
Alright.
cube.
Yeah, each of
Yeah, 20
each
foot
thing
cube, so
is
we
in
can
it.
hit
Yeah,
all three of them in ESO.
That's fine. I'll dex save it.
sure. Yep, that works.
You got this.
Yep, with my total of 7.
It might
I am
succeed, you don't know.
I'm a wet, sparkly turtle.
The highest I rolled was an 11.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
DC.
What color is your fairy fire?
Blue.
Blue. All right, so everyone is a brilliant blue, a shining beacon to be attacked. Anything else on your turn, Fink? No? All right. With that, there we go. They are actually going to turn and flee. So you get an attack of opportunity if you wish, at advantage. I think he's aiming at that one.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Sorry about that. So this
No, you're
this one
good.
is fleeing as well, right?
Yep, all three of them are fleeing
Okay.
from the giant Sahuagin on the shore.
I will opportunity attack against this one again at non-lethal.
Yep, at advantage.
Oh, even better. So, ooh, yeah, okay. 22 to hit.
That'll hit.
And that will be 4 points of bludgeoning.
All right, and with 4 points, that is enough. And it drops. It just kind of like falls over in the water and begins floating. You feel very confident that you just knocked it out, as it is not bleeding out. And it looks like it got maybe 5 feet away from you as it went. Everyone else just turns and flees. Under the water, they just dive in and are gone.
Okay.
And with that, we are out of initiative.
I'm a giant person
well,
for an hour.
that's wrong. Don't DMCA me.
So we're still in initiative?
We are out of initiative.
Okay.
You are
So then
free to
Iso's
move and
just
act as you
gonna...
wish.
Issa's gonna reach down and grab this thing by the nape of its neck, or scruff if it's wearing any type of armor, and just start dragging it with him up the shore.
No armor. It just seems like a lot of its natural armor is just thick scales. Some kind of protrude up in like thorns off of its shoulders. But otherwise, it is just a very scaly monster.
Okay. So he's gonna drag him all the way up towards this tree and dump him at the bottom of it.
Okay. And we'll just go ahead and make sure we know he is there. Okay.
Incapacitated.
Okay.
Thank you, Fink.
No problem.
Alright, now, to make sure this little guy doesn't go anywhere, he's gonna pull on his ropes again, and a bigger satchel comes to the front, and he rummages around in there, and he grabs out a pair of manacles, and he attaches them to the creature's feet.
All right. Nice.
Do I want to know why you have such things in your pack?
Well, you see, traveling the world can be a little bit, dangerous. Some people don't always like to listen nicely and just need a moment to sit down and mull things over while not moving with iron on their feet.
I agree. I don't have those, though.
Sometimes, diplomacy does not always work out the way you think it will. So they just need a bit of a timeout.
The giant Sahuin walks over. That's who I am for the next hour, because I'm not dropping it.
Ooh, let's think of some questions.
And I move over to him in my large form and just kind of sit on the ground and just wait.
All right.
How do we wake him up?
Oh, you.
Well, I can do that. I'll just wake him up. But however, first I thought we might want to think of a few things we might want to ask him. I don't necessarily know if he'll speak our language, but it doesn't hurt to try.
I know a few. We can all try talking.
I know quite a few, but I don't know if they'll be good enough.
Let's see.
Well, what would we like to ask our slimy, scaly, giddy friend here?
Why did you want to go in the... Why did the slime make you want to go in the water?
The slime made me do what now?
Yep. Exactly.
I just got thirsty.
Right after you touch the slime.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's everywhere. How are you not supposed to touch the slime?
Evidently with an umbrella.
It's like a dragon flew over with seasonal allergies and just sneezed all over this place.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Maybe one needs to be more nimble than you.
Anyway, but we should ask him why. Also, why attack us if we're being drawn in?
Also, what's in that palisade over there?
How do we get to the palisade?
That's a good one.
Does he know of a boat?
A boat. A boat would work.
We never thought there could be a boat.
But if everything that lives in there is swims, then they don't really need a boat.
Should we go look for him?
True.
But we'll find out when he
Maybe
wakes
after
up.
our chat.
Yes. Ask him if he knows where a boat is.
Alright.
Right?
I believe you're the one who's going to be doing the asking, Petunia. Since you look like him.
Well,
I should probably do that since I'm, it's so scary.
provided
That's a fun
Petunia
idea.
can communicate with it.
God, I've got a couple languages I can toss around.
Hopefully one of them is the right one.
I have another idea. If He can write. If he has a written language, I could read it.
Oh, that would work. Maybe.
You can draw on this line.
I have paper, but I don't know if I have a writing utensil.
I do. I definitely have writing utensil.
I have paper for sure. Okay,
And
cool.
papers.
Well, if talking to him doesn't work, we can give him a piece of paper and he can write on it. And if he can't, then don't know what plan C is.
We'll figure out plan C when we've burned all the other bridges.
Iso just kind of smacks his hammer onto his hand.
Well,
Option C.
Well, yeah. Don't hurt him.
We'll get there once we'll cross that bridge once we burn it. What is that saying? We'll burn that bridge when we get there.
No, you had it right the first time. Had it in one. Right, well, here's a thought. He did not take too kindly into seeing Petunia in this form. Perhaps, Fink and Yara, we should hide on the other side of the tree, so that he doesn't think we're in cahoots with her.
Alright, sounds good to me.
We'll still be close enough should something happen.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just
All right.
behind him.
You're standing behind Iso?
No, like behind the tree, behind the.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So Iso will walk up to him, place one finger on his temple, and I will use one of my lay on hands to bring him to 1 HP. And
Okay.
then I'm gonna look off towards the other side of the tree.
All right. So, just to paint the picture, looking at it from a little bit of a distance, you see a giant Sahuagin standing over the slumped form of one up against a tree, about 100 feet from shore. And you see 3 individuals behind said tree, kind of like peeking around, wondering what's going on, kind of at varying heights.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
You see it kind of snap awake. What?
And
What did you want? You don't seem to understand him.
oh, I don't seem to understand him. Hey.
No, sorry, that was confusing. Now that I said everything.
Did any of us understand it?
Iso did.
Okay.
I need a translator.
Petunia, do you by chance speak Aquan?
No,
Okay.
You're
I
back.
do not.
I will whisper over to Fink and Inia. He's speaking my language.
Is he ribbiting? Sorry. No, that wasn't out loud. That wasn't in character. That was just me reading chat.
I lean over him and
You see one of its fins kind of twitch a little at the noise behind it.
I lean forward and in Celestial, I ask him why my friend wanted to be in the water so bad.
You see a look of awe cross the face of this thing. Its jaw kind of sags just a bit. I am not worthy. And you see him kind of rearrange and kind of do his best. He is kneeling, palms down on the ground, looking at the dirt. Just kind of staying there.
In Celestial, I go, that was my friend, and he was being stolen from me. Why was he being taken?
From behind the tree, when she says, friend, you hear
Is that a good sound or?
oh, just a
To be
snort.
determined. He kind of shakes his head. The god should not be affected. It is just frog slime. And again, face like kind of muffled a bit underneath the dirt surrounding his fishy mouth.
So how to phrase this? I ask why they. Oh gosh, how do I do this? Words. Words or ward? What's behind the palisade?
Why do you want to know? You should. It is the frogman. Hakir has been faithful, and you see him kind of like pull back some scaling, and you see like scarring, kind of like jagged lines, kind of carved into his pectoral. And you have what's that? That's the arcane vision or whatever, right? So you can just read any script.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice. And you immediately see this as like Sahuagin, not celestial, but you recognize it as Sahuagin writing. It is very jagged and very primitive in nature. And it seems to say the name of some deity.
Okay.
That I will. Yep. Just let me.
What in the world did we get into here?
You see Sekola written across his left pectoral, kind of like stripping away some of that like deep into its flesh. And you see him kind of like push it back into place. And the scales kind of shift and move back, and then he goes prostrate again.
I say the frog people have wanted my friend. They've been talking to him, drawing him in. Why do they want my friend?
I do not know.
And then I say, you are dismissed. Go back, and if you see me with others, they are under my protection.
Understood. And you see him kind of like shuffle away.
Still manacled on his feet.
As he disappears, I hand him one of the 4-leaf clovers to bring back as like
You mentioned that you're doing that, like make a mention of, here, take this with you, and you see his eyes again just full of awe. He reaches forward, confused a little bit too, but as you place the 4-leaf clover in his hand, you swear you see like salty tear like cross one cheek and down before he disappears.
He gave me my damn manacles. Sorry, I got my manacles.
He couldn't walk. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Correct. He is still manacled. He is shuffling, like prostrate shuffling, because he is not worthy towards the water.
Tell him to
where
stop.
You see like an awkward flop and a flip as it attempts to swim without using its legs.
I tell him to hold. I can free him, and I motion over Etho to come
You see him kind of jerk back, and like shuffle up onto the shore, and then stay face down into the muck.
Iso will walk over, take the key, and kneel down, but before I actually unlock it, I will ask him, do you know a safe way across this lake to that palisade without touching the slime? Because this goddess here, and he gestures towards Petunia, cannot be allowed to touch the slime.
Of course. Sekula should not touch slime. Others have used a bow at.
And where is this bow at?
I have no idea.
Gotcha.
Alright.
Thank
We
you,
let him
friend
go
of
then.
Sakula. And you see him kind of just, again, dive into the water after the manacles are off.
Wait, I did. Unlock.
Well, presumably unlocked them, and then he just dove off into the water.
We have your manacles, is what I'm hearing.
Correct. So at this point, several charades later,
Yep.
it is much later in the evening,
Mm-hmm.
as you have explored the shoreline of this lake. Night is beginning to take hold, as like evening is setting as the sun is disappearing for the day. It doesn't disappear for the night. That would be weird.
Oh, what an eventful day. And yeah, and after an hour passes, I shrink back into myself.
How far back would it be till we did not see slime? Like, how far back did we first encounter the slime?
Probably 2 miles.
Ooh, yeah, that's...
Ways away.
It seems like there is a decent coating starting about that, well, maybe not a decent coating, but it starts roughly what you recall about 2 miles back.
Well, do we bed down here close to the lake?
I vote we back up just in case
Yep.
anyone comes looking for us, and then we're not, super cool god.
I will say, I will let you all know, the slime, underneath the slime, it's relatively calm and normal. How long can you all hold your breath?
How long is that? What is it?
Only a half a mile.
No, it's your con modifier.
Mechanically speaking, 1 plus your con modifier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Oh
Not
my.
very long. That's why I immediately came back out of the water when I casted the flame on you.
That will also change if we're in combat, and that dramatically reduces.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Why, sir? Yeah, we should definitely go back and camp. How are we gonna find a boat?
That's a
We're
good
gonna have to
question.
go buy one and haul it here?
I
Oh,
can't.
we could always roughshod one. We could make a raft. I have plenty of rope.
I've got the rope. I can pitch in and help.
Yeah, raft.
Look, I'm useful.
I can do some leather working. Ooh.
Good for you, my dear. And then he'll like turn towards like the others and kind of twirl a finger around his ear.
I don't notice. Proud.
Well, I would say perhaps when most of us are striking camp, we could find some sturdy trees and build ourselves a raft. Might be the best way to get over there.
That might be it, yeah.
Sounds good to me.
If all of us work together, it should work out.
I'd agree. I've
Yes,
got tents.
as long as no one's trying to blind or burn anyone, we should do just fine.
Don't
I
worry.
don't think I've forgotten,
Stay
Missy.
away from the burning thing when we're dealing with wood. And fire.
Yeah, I won't burn the wood.
All
I
right.
promise.
So do you guys start setting up camp around the shoreline here then?
I think we were gonna go in a little bit. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Yeah, inland.
Maybe 30, 50 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, so back more into the actual tree cover, not the barren shoreline.
Right. Oop, too
Yeah.
far.
Okay,
That's not working on my part.
gotcha. Easy enough. I mean, you guys just backtrack a little ways into the woods. If somebody would like to roll a survival check to maybe see if you can find a semi-secluded area, and maybe avoid anything that would come out during the night.
I mean, I can.
Oh,
I got a
you know,
plus
lot of
one.
high wisdom characters here, but
I have a +4 to survival.
Ooh.
You should
You
survive
should-
us.
Yep. This is out of my element. This
I mean,
is
he has survived probably the longest out of it.
sorry.
Yes.
This is a
Technically
little
speaking.
out of
I'm
my
second, I think.
expertise to find spots to sleep or survive outside, out of a city. Out of a library?
So, I rolled a 15 on that survival.
You live in a library?
No, not
Okay.
a library, but I like libraries.
Easy enough. You wander a little bit a ways, and you kind of use the slime as another way to kind of avoid more of it, and go towards an area that has less slime than other portions of the forest. Do you begin hacking trees now, or are you guys going to wait until the morning?
How much time do we have? Because we could do some now and some later.
You
Do we have a
probably
way to
estimate you
hack-
got about an hour or so before actual night has fallen.
Well, I definitely think we should.
Well, we could definitely fell the trees and then hack the limbs off in the morning so that we don't take off a finger.
There's that.
Nope. Do we have a way to hack down the trees?
Ooh, that's a difficult question.
Not to throw a wrench into this?
I have a warhammer.
That might work.
Not very sharp.
Nope. I got some string.
The best I could try and do is magic missile.
I pull out a chisel and a hammer. It'll take me a while. I just go on.
What do I have for? I don't think I have any of that. No, I know I don't have any of
I
that.
go like halfway, and then I'll just tell Eso, just smack it really hard now.
Can do.
Roll me a strength check.
Yeah.
As you kind of double hand the warhammer and just come crashing into it.
13.
13. I like it. Yep. So
It works then.
sits there with his hammer and chisel for probably a good 40 minutes, carving into this, get a little divot into the tree, and you just see Eso come and with a loud whack, you just hear, and the tree crashes, surprisingly, to the ground.
All right, just 13 more.
How many more? How many do we need? How big are the trees? Could it just be a really long raft with only 2 or 3 trees?
Yeah, I would say they're actually a fairly good size around, probably a good 1.5 feet. So chiseling a couple inches into it would actually be a good amount into the tree itself, and giving a good hard smack, since we're in a fantasy setting, definitely would topple a tree. And we need a way around this challenge.
Mm-hmm. That worked well. This is going to take a while.
It might.
Well, while you guys do that, I'm going to set up anybody's tents if you want them up. I don't
I can help with that.
I don't have enough to help with that. I got rope and it's silk and I want it back. That's all I got.
I have 100 feet of rope, hempen rope, so we should be fine.
Okay.
I'm used to sleeping outside, so I just have, blanket, bedroll.
Yeah, nope, I got tent.
Yeah, if you want to set up my tent, that'd be great. look over my shoulders and just go on.
If you could lay out my blanket, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I will.
Want bonfire?
I will do that,
Create a bonfire.
and if anyone pays attention to Indiana, occasionally she'll stop while making beds and things and just well, how did they? And you'll hear a name. It just sounds. I don't have a thing. And like definitely a dark elf name. Like, how did they make this now? As she's like trying to picture how things were done. As she kind of clumsily makes people's beds to the best of her ability. It's definitely one of the first few times she's probably ever made a bed for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very apparent.
But she's trying very hard.
I would say as you guys kind of get into the groove of it, and with a little bit of remaining daylight, you're able to fell another 2 trees before it begins to get, too dark for Iso to begin helping. Tink, you're not really that affected by it. I mean, you're kind of wondering why he's stumbling around. I mean, there's the firelight, whatever. But, so that way you guys can also get a full rest in before the morning.
I would like to ritually cast alarm around our little campsite. There's a 20-foot cube around us.
Gotcha. Okay. Easy enough. And I won't forget it this time.
Hopefully.
I promise. Hopefully. So, do you guys keep watch during the night, or do all 4 of you just bunk down?
Keep watch. Or at least I would keep watch.
Oh, definitely keep watch.
Okay.
Sleep.
Good, good.
I mean, that helps.
Who would like to go first?
I think I'll take first watch.
All right. So, as the other 3 are bedding down for the evening, think, do you maintain, do you keep in your armor?
Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of sit down, eyes focused out towards the sounds of nature and the forest around you. And it goes by fairly peacefully at first. Everyone has kind of already fallen asleep, kind of into this small bit of a routine that you guys have started, being only the second night, really, that you've been together. And in the distance, you hear a ribbit. A little bit further in, ribbit. Ribbit. And in the forest, you see 3 little figures hopping in towards your camp. And that is where we'll cut for the night.
Huzzah!
Hey, we hit our timeline.
Yeah.
Yay, we didn't TPK.
Woohoo.
So with that, though, we will pick up next week, continuing on with this Grung encounter. And hopefully we can keep this pace going and keep on schedule.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, for the purposes of YouTube and everything, have a good night, everybody, and see you next week.
Bye.
Good night.